Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say good evening, ladies and gentlemen, as it is time for the nightcap here in our opening day doubleheader. College of Southern Maryland Hawks took on the CCBC Essex Knights women's soccer team in game number one. Final score in that one, 5-2. The Knights had a one-goal lead at the start of the second half and then really piled it on and made sure there was no doubt. And now the men's program here at CCBC Essex will look to make it a clean sweep of the Hawks. Coach Fiedler's squad last year during the 2023-2024 season, 19-2-1 on the year, 10-1 in the conference, 9-1 at home, and 6-1 on the road. Their season last year came to an end in dramatic fashion in the national tournament, and here is step one in clinching a return trip to the national tournament right here in front of them. They're looking to take that step here in a moment as kickoff for the first 45 is just moments away. The Knights in the home white jerseys, College of Southern Maryland in the black jerseys with the white trim. A little last-minute strategy session, or maybe prayer session with this Knights men's team, and now the action just moments away from starting. The Knights will start things on the defensive side. College of Southern Maryland Hawks will start things on the offensive side. In between the pipes for the Knights here today, Colton Bagnall-Drought, sophomore goalkeeper from Towson, Maryland. And there's the opening whistle. And we are off. The ball rolling safely all the way down to the other side. A rematch of a playoff matchup from a year ago. The Knights will hope for the same result as they were on top in that one. First look at offense for the team in the white jerseys. You look at the numbers for this Knights team at the end of every season. The numbers offensively, they always catch your eye in terms of goals scored. But it's the defensive numbers. If you watch this team from the start to finish of a season, those are the numbers that'll really catch you. Coach Fiedler builds his program from the back up. Strong goalie play, really strong play from the front four. You're going to create a lot of offensive opportunities for yourself if you keep that ball in front of you. And that's usually their MO. Knights looking to push it towards that far sideline. Meeting a little resistance once they get closer towards the box. But now here, they're really open and really after it. What a move. Dancing around two guys for a beautiful finish. Blink and you missed it. It looked like the Hawks were starting to get a clear on. And then the Knights quickly running back into the goal scoring area and finishing the job. So Maldonado getting credit for the goal there for the Knights. And what a goal that was, dancing around a few players. Alexis Maldonado, freshman from Silver Spring, Maryland. Much like the women's game, the Knights getting the scoring started early with a goal in the first 3 minutes. And the women in game number 1 were able to put 2 goals on in the first 5 minutes. Ball played in towards the middle now. Sent away for a moment. Knights looking for the space on the near sideline now. Finding plenty of it for a moment. The black jerseys quick to rally. College of Southern Maryland on their heels for a moment. They need to answer quickly. That answer could come in the form of a goal being scored to tie this game up. Could also come just in a good long run and look at the goal. Could go a long way in establishing some momentum on their side, as right now momentum in the first 5 minutes all on the side of the Knights. As they're making another run. And that run will continue. Hawks giving up space and numbers. They're able to clear it at the last second. Oh, my! An early candidate for goal of the year. A beautiful cross. An even better head. Oh, my. Blink and you missed it. 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. A beautiful cross, and then the Knights player just floated underneath the ball, knocked it in off the head and into the back of the net. You know, put some music behind that. Put it on YouTube. Got yourself a highlight reel, or at least the beginnings of a nice highlight reel. Aiden Hidesi that time with the goal. Aiden Hidesi, a sophomore from Sunshine Coast, Australia. I hope he's got some family listening or watching down under. Have no idea what time it is over there, but your son just put together a beauty of a goal here for goal number 2. 2 unanswered goals, and it's a little deja vu. We talked about a moment ago how the women's team, 2 goals in the first 5 minutes, 2 goals in the first 4 minutes for this men's team, and it comes on their first 2 shots on goal, just like the women in game number 1. The soccer program at CCBC Essex shaking off the rust quickly, getting the fireworks on display early and maybe potentially often. And here's the first run at goal for the Hawks, or at least the first real run at goal. Trying to get a cross off. Has it played off the leg of a Knights defender, and it's a corner kick, the first one of the day. And it could potentially be just what the doctor ordered. If you're a Hawks player, coach, or fan, good opportunity at goal. Breathe some new life into this game. Everyone pushed up. Good strike. Better effort on the defensive side for the Knights. They'll need some more effort. Some of the rough stuff brings the whistle and a change of possession. Knights kept that ball in front of them throughout that entire offensive possession for the Hawks. Right down to the corner kick. No space to be had that time for the black jerseys. A woeful start to the first half for this Hawks team. And it almost got a little worse as it took a weird bounce off the leg of a defender and held up there in the air for what seemed like an eternity. And when it finally came down, touched the net, but on the wrong side. And now it's the first corner of the day for the Knights. Everything's come up roses for them so far. Does this corner continue that trend? Good strike. Goal's open, but the ball's out. And there's a whistle. Too much shoving there. Full extension on the arms, too, with the shove. You may be able to get away with a little push like that if you don't push the arms all the way out. There's always some grabbing and some jersey pulling. Knights with possession here for a moment. Passing it back to the defense. Again, successfully switching fields. Long pass. Beautiful backspin on that ball. What a job to control it. One shot. Oh, and the cavalry was there. The reinforcements came at the last second. And he punched it away. My, oh my, the attack continues for the Knights. And that one splits the uprights. 3 looks. But the score remains the same. Couple of just tremendous passes on that first run towards the goal. First the long pass, and then it's controlled nicely by Hidesi. He sets his teammate up for what I thought was going to be a one-timer from Yakin. Yakin sets his teammate up nicely on the other side, only to have a Hawks player shut the door at the absolute last second. And another whistle. Will give possession to the Knights once again. Looking to fire up the offensive machine once again. 10 minutes into the contest. It's a 2-goal lead currently here for the Knights, but they're searching for a third. Carry towards space. Pass. Great give and go. And it doesn't get much easier than that, but oh my, they're sent away. What a display of passing. I don't know if it was bad luck, bad timing, or just excellent execution on the defense's side, but the Knights going to live with just 2 goals a little longer. So much open net there. Defense looking for more plays. And through the wickets. They were sent away about 4 or 5 times in a row. One too many times, though, and the Knights have found a third. Offensive firepower for the Knights on display. And it's looking like it's going to be often with the fireworks display. The beginnings of it, at least, An all-night barrage, maybe. Whatever the strategy was for this College of Southern Maryland Hawks team coming into this game, we never really got a chance to see it on display. 2 goals in the first 4 minutes for the Knights really had this game tilted in their direction. And the Hawks have not been able to regroup. Almost 15 minutes into the contest. Hawks looking for some offense, looking to stop the bleeding. The Knights looking to keep this ball in their offensive zone. Time of possession here in this first 15 has been all on the side of the Knights. Hawks had that opportunity on the corner kick. And really outside of that, the ball has stayed in their defensive zone. Have some substitutions getting ready to check into the game at some point here for the Knights, as we have 5 players going up the hill and doing some warm-up stretches. Large bench unit at the coaching staff's display, ready for them to get out there, show their thing. And there is an easy one as the goalie comes out. He wants the flag for offsides, and it won't come as it's 4 unanswered goals for this Knights team. Wide open net as the Knights put another one on. Goalie for the Hawks came out, tried to challenge. That's the second time the Knights have dribbled around the goalie. The first time, it's worked out for a goal on their half. The nightmare start to the first half continues here for this Hawks team. It's now 4 unanswered goals to start the season for this Knights team. Knights already sitting pretty close to their average in terms of goals against, or goals for, excuse me. When you look at their numbers for last year's team, the Knights averaged 4.7 goals a game last year. Their goals against average was just over 1 goal a game. I told you at the start of this game, the offensive numbers for this team, they certainly stand out, but when you take a deep dive, it's the defensive numbers that really make the difference. This team is a strong defensive unit. Have the makings of that here once again this season, at least on display so far. This defense for the Knights last year had 8 shutouts, 5 in the conference. Little hot potato with the possession right now on the far sideline as it is another throw in. And those 5 players we saw warming up earlier on the sideline are making their way over to the scorer's table, getting ready to check into the game. An early look at the bench unit for this Knights team. Oh, the flick up over the head of the defense. Knights trying to keep it deep in their offensive zone. They'll get a chance to keep it in the offensive zone. And ref blows it dead because it played off of him. One-touch pass. Couple of really nice passes there from the Knights. Ref says play on. Here's the cross. Off the crossbar. And oh my, it almost came right back and hit him in the head. Not often do you see a guy miss high on a head ball attempt there, but that shows you just how hard that ball was coming off of his head. Off of his head, off the crossbar, and then it almost took his head off. As now under 30 minutes to play in the first half. The score remains 4-0. But the Knights continue to roll here. That is their first shot on goal that did not result in a goal scored. And there is the offsides flag. Hawks players, coaches, and fans feeling like that offsides flag was a couple of minutes late. And again, everything here for the Hawks has been a couple of minutes late. Really tough start to this first half. The Knights made the most of pretty much every opportunity in front of them. Have put this Hawks team in a sizable hole early and looking to keep them there. Hawks go for the short kick on the goal kick. Defense to offense with possession has been an issue in this first half. There has not been many chances to control the ball past the midfield for this Hawks team. And it is tough to dig yourself out of a hole when you can't get a good grip on the shovel. Knights play it towards space on the near sideline. And it'll stay right here with a throw-in. We've played 20 minutes here in this first half, and it continues to be dominated by the Knights as they're looking for more offense in the box and just wide of the net. Little worm burner of a shot. Saw the reaction from the goalie as quickly as he saw it. It was by him. Luckily for him, too far on the outside. Knights continue to pitch that 0. 8 shutouts for this team last year. And about halfway through their potential first here in game number 1. Around one defender, could not get around the second. That was one of those times it paid for the Hawks to be out of position there. Usually you want your line moving as a line. Defense scattered all over the place that time. But one right there on the back line. Making the play at the final moment. With things rolling so much on the side of the Knights. All the Hawks could need maybe is just one quick little bounce to go their way. And it could really change the momentum here in this one. And then you really put the onus on the Knights to kind of regroup and see how they answer. They have no reason to believe that they wouldn't answer strongly, but hey, who's to say they wouldn't crumble as well? They haven't been answered yet. They haven't been tested yet. Can the Hawks figure out a way to test them? Bouncing it out to the outside. Good clear there. Knights trying to keep it in the offensive zone. One of the things this Knights team has done so well that has really not only got them out in front on the scoreboard, but got them way out in front in time of possession, is they have not forced any issues with the passing. Sometimes guys will force a pass because there's a lane, when really sometimes you just need to pass towards space. Sometimes that goes backwards. Sometimes you give an opportunity to have your man or your teammate run towards the space with a pass. And we've seen this Knights team do that quite a few times here today. Nothing in front. Let's pass towards space and let somebody get to it. Let the defense regroup. And then something else will be open. As we see it once again. Nothing out in front, and the Knights pass it backwards. And then all of a sudden, there's all that space on the other side. Defense is regrouping towards that pass, and they're not expecting the next one. And coaches will talk about, no matter what the sport is, soccer, basketball, hockey. I'm sure there's a few sports I'm not even thinking about. Coaches will always talk about the ball can move faster than you can. You put a good pass on towards your teammate, that ball is going to move faster than the defender is going to. And we have seen that on display here a few times. Some really solid passing leading to some good goal-scoring opportunities. 5 shots on goal for the Knights, 4 goals scored. That tells you about all you need to know. That's a recipe for pure domination. And about 25 minutes into the contest, that's what it's been. Another corner for the Knights as they took one on the other side of the field just a moment ago. Now they've got one on this near sideline. Solid strike to the back of the box. Oh, here's an opportunity, or what looked like maybe an opportunity for the Hawks to go defense to offense with some urgency. But quickly, it's back on the side for the Knights. Pushing it around, in towards the middle. Switching fields. Here comes the cross. And it's sent away over the line for another corner kick. We're going back and forth here with the corners. Oh, man, he got some hang time on that one. But he was up there with the field goal post, and that's where it went, off the head and off the post and out of play. Off the head and out of bounds as the Hawks got it out of their box but couldn't control it. And the Knights show continues here in the first half. This game is a rematch of a playoff matchup from a year ago. And the Knights are in total control here. Off to a solid start here on opening night. And there's a whistle that goes against the Knights this time. And that is a welcome sight if you're a Hawks player, coach, or fan. That'll give them possession and a chance to at least slow down the attack. Of course, they'd really love a chance to stop the bleeding. But they got to get that ball into their offensive zone first. And that has been a tough task for them this evening so far. Ball is sent deep into their offensive zone. What a two-man game there. Nice give and go. The Knights continuing the passing display. Piecing together a couple of really nice passes before that ball was played out of bounds. Now they're passing it on to the near sideline, trying to pass it through two defenders. That third one came in just in the nick of time. Up the sideline again. The Knights offense looking for goals. Long play into the box. Pinballing around again. Here's a third look. And that one, same result. Couple of stabs at it that time. The Knights coming up a little short at the offense. It's been a while not only since they got a goal on the board, it's been a while since they got a shot on goal. The Knights have been sitting at 4 goals and 5 shots on goal for quite some time here in this first half. Remember, they got their first 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. Maybe getting number 5 right there. And they may have gotten it if it wasn't for the goalie for the Hawks coming off the line just in the nick of time. Brandon Rollins. Sometimes you play goalie, it's kill or be killed. He decided to live to see another day with the score remaining at 4-0. Sometimes you come off the line like that, it's just about fearlessness and quickness. Rollins had both of them that time, but the Knights able to dribble around him for another trip into the winner's circle. 5 unanswered goals here in the first 30 minutes. And not the kind of day that this Hawks team wanted, and not the kind of day that their goalkeeper wants to write home to mom and dad about, but a great effort in between the pipes. It's tough to think about this, but it could be worse, as he's already made a handful of tremendous saves to keep this game where it is. Problem is he's getting little to no help from his offense. And the defense, well, they're helping him, but it's hard to really help when you're on your heels the whole time. When it rains, it pours, and it's pouring big time on this Hawks team. Rollins catches that one out of the air. Knights tried to pop that one over his head on the chip shot. Under 15 minutes to play in the first half, and these two teams looking forward to halftime, but of course, for two very different reasons. Oh, he overran it, went back and picked it up, and almost found an angle at the goal. And he will get an angle at the goal. It'll just come off a penalty kick, as a little pushing and shoving in the box will bring a PK opportunity to the Knights. A great effort to put a shot on the goal from that angle that he was at, hugging the sideline. And we found out afterwards why. He only had that much of real estate. Penalty kick opportunity here for the Knights, looking for a 6th goal in the first half. It is a much different song from game number 1. These two programs, women's teams, went head-to-head in game number 1, and it was a competitive contest throughout. This one, the Knights running away with early. 6-0 now after the top shelf cookie on the penalty kick. Evening is starting to turn to night here at the castle, and the lights are on. We'll be playing under the pitch black sky here in the second half. Always a beautiful sight here at the castle, playing under the lights. And this Knights team, if you love offense, they certainly came to give the fans a show. Fireworks display offensively on display early and often. 6 unanswered goals for this Knights team in the first half. About as perfect of a first 45 as you can get. One touch. And man, that one would have been special. Tough to score on those one touches and volleys. But they are the most exciting goals usually for a reason. They bring the fans up out of their seats. We've had a couple bring the fans up out of their seats already this season. A couple of top shelf cookies in game number 1. Couple of really tremendous saves in game number 1 as well, and then the goal scoring display here in game number 2. Certainly, through the wickets, but maybe it wasn't. Must have been off the hand as it deflects wide of the net. Had those legs spread wide, but The hands in the right spot. Rollins lives to see another day. Can he make the save again this time around with another corner? And there's no chance to make a save, at least on the initial touch. And what a slide tackle. Can't keep it in play, though, as the opportunity continues for the Knights. Through the middle. And right back into the offensive zone. Around one defender. One touch into the second. And a good-looking offensive opportunity started to take shape there for the Knights. They certainly won't cry over spilt milk. They'll just go and get another glass. Do it all over again. Stopping on a dime like Shady McCoy. Turn, shot with the left foot, just wide of the net. Couple of nice moves there from number 19. Bartu Yakin. Bartu, a sophomore midfielder from the Netherlands. There is a whole mess of guys on this Knights team that have family from all over the globe, and I hope they're joining us live on YouTube for every game this season. Netherlands, Japan, Australia, Germany. A couple of boys from Maryland sprinkled in there as well. It is an international flavor on this Knights men's soccer team. And that was a trend that started a few years ago and has only grown since then. Big strike wide of the net. Had time to wind up the big gun, unloaded it. Didn't get the result they were looking for, though. Under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Down 6 going into the second half. What is the strategy session for this Hawks team when we go into the halftime break? Knights turning the Jets on. Far sideline. Shot. Saved. And cleared out of the danger zone for a moment. Another shot. Another save. And the whistle blows it dead at the end. And the great effort from Rollins continues. And plays like that's what I meant when I said it could be much worse here in this game if it wasn't for the effort for the goalkeeper for this Hawks team. He has been peppered with shots all night, and he sent away a great deal of them. But the numbers game is always going to be the numbers game. House is going to win. That's why my dad always used to say, don't gamble. Life's a risk. Save your money. Here tonight, if I was Rollins, I wouldn't buy a lotto ticket on the way home. Tough day at the office. Knights looking for the cross. Going short. Around one. Here's a second. Now's the cross. And there's the clear. It's another corner kick opportunity. And they have come early and often for this Knights team. Another change of events from game number 1. We went a long distance, a long while, so to speak, in the game without seeing the first corner. Now here in this one, the Knights getting their fair share of opportunities to pepper the goal from the corner. That was a good look at scoring as the ball headed towards that back post. The look on the face of number 20, Aiden Hidesi, says it all. He feels like he should have buried that into the back of the net. He certainly had someone right there on his backside making it difficult. Those 50-50 balls, everybody's got a right to it. There, that's the deepest the ball's been into the offensive zone of the Hawks in quite some time. And there is a welcome sight. If you're a Hawks player, coach, or fan, an offsides whistle, an offsides flag bringing a stop to the action there for a moment. As we have now hit 5 minutes left to play in the first half. 40 minutes of domination for this Knights team on opening night. And a juggling display after that. One pass, and that's all they'll see. Pass a little bit too far out in front of the target. It leads to an easy play for the goalie. Long shot, just wide of the net. Knights had 4 goals on their first 5 shots on goal. Since then, it's now gone to 6 goals on 10 shots on goal. So still a really solid ratio. Offsides by just a hair. And frustration clearly written all over the face of the offensive player for the Knights. Much different look on the faces of the Hawks defenders. A sigh of relief. Chance to take some more time off the clock. Chance to get their offense rolling, or at least working. They're a long way from rolling. They're still looking to get out of the garage. Trickery right there at the midfield, holding on to possession for the Knights as we approach 3 minutes to play in the first half. Saw substitution packages check into the game pretty early and often for the Knights in this first half. I'm sure that's a trend we'll see again in the second half. Sure, it's a trend that this coaching staff hopes they see all season long, because if that's the case, then it could be a very successful season for them. This team last year 19-2-1 on the year, 10-1 in the conference, and 9-1 at home. 105 goals scored in total for this Knights team last year. What a display of offense, and that is really, really impressive, but it's really only half of the story. You pair that, 105 goals with 8 shutouts, and that is a recipe for a dominating season. And last year, Coach Fiedler's squad sure had their moments of domination as they punched a ticket to the national tournament and rode it as far as they could. Came to a heartbreaking end. But hey, that was then. This is now. Taking their first step in a potential successful season right here. Under 90 seconds to play in the first half, looking for goal number 7 and finding it. And that heads-up play from Hidesi as that ball was out of bounds and he quickly got to it and threw it back in play. No offsides in a moment like that. And he's able to just throw it towards space. Teammate runs after it, sets up another teammate with an easy opportunity. Goal number 7. It comes with 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the first half. The nightmare first 45 continues for this Hawks team. 7 unanswered goals to start this season for the Knights. An opening day massacre, so to speak. How about an 8th? We love 8s around here in Baltimore. From Baltimore to D.C., 8s are hot here in the DMV. 8 unanswered goals in the first half for this Knights team. .35 seconds left in the first half. What do you say on a game like this? Sometimes you're the buzzsaw. Sometimes you're getting cut by the buzzsaw. And the Knights, under Coach Fiedler, they have been a buzzsaw for a lot of teams. And here tonight, the buzzsaw is cutting its way through this College of Southern Maryland Hawks team. The question at the start of this game was, will the Knights get the clean sweep of the Hawks? Well, the question now is, what's the final score going to be? And just by how much? The Knights in firm control of this one. 8-0, the score on the big board after the first 45. And there's a second in store for us after a short break. Stick around with us and find out what the final score in this one's going to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the halftime break is officially over, and the second 45 is just moments away from officially starting. These two teams talked a little strategy. The Knights are hoping for just at least a little bit more of what they had in the first half, and the College of Southern Maryland Hawks, well, they're looking for a whole different song and dance here in the second 45, something to build on as they look to move forward after a tough start to opening day here. Talked about at one point in the first half how the Knights last year put 105 goals into the back of the net last year. 105 goals to pair along with 8 shutouts, and they are on their way to some more magic offensively and defensively this year. Just game one, but if a perfect game is the perfect outing in baseball, well, we've got the soccer equivalent of that here today at the Castle. With the firepower on offense and the laser show on defense, just lasering off any opportunity. And really, they've been lasering it off at midfield, excuse me. There's not been very many opportunities outside of really what we're seeing right now, where that ball was deep in the offensive zone for the Hawks and staying there. Time of possession in that first 45 really reflected the score on the big board. It was all Knights from the word go. Climbing the tippy top of the ladder to win possession there on the 50-50 ball. Trying to turn and go. The defense slamming the door there. Nice move. And the whistle brings a stop to the transition game. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you at home for joining us on night one here of what will be an exciting season of soccer once again here at the Castle. Every season has been exciting since I came on board here, and I have no reason to believe that this season won't live up to the hype. What a start here on opening day. A 5-2 win for the women in game one, and at least an 8-0 victory here for the men in game two. Both teams have high hopes for the season. Those high hopes start with winning the conference and punching the ticket to the national tournament. Once you get into the big dance, well, anything's possible. Got to handle your business from now until then. And I know right now here on opening day, that seems a ways away. But time, it flies by, especially when you're having fun. And it looks like these two teams are going to be having a whole lot of fun here at the Castle this season. So the season will be here and gone tomorrow. What will these two teams do with it? 4 minutes into the second half. Hawks with possession right there at the midfield line. Oh, nice little flick over the shoulder. Moved it towards space. Problem was only white jerseys there to get to it. Another whistle gives possession to the Hawks. About 15 yards into their offensive zone. Opportunity to put this in towards the middle. Catch a bouncing ball in a good spot. Nice backspin on that, and oh my, there'll be a little bruise on the midsection after that. Caught the cannonball cleanly. Take a deep breath after catching that one, if you can. Sometimes that ball will knock the wind right out of you. Another whistle for the Hawks. Very similar spot to the one they were in a moment ago, just on the other side of the field, 15 yards into their defensive zone with a long kick, trying to place it into an area where they can catch a bouncing ball into a good spot. And the defensive play at the midfield for the Knights tonight has been spectacular. How many times have we seen plays just like that? Oh, played towards space, and the wall, oh, and off the goalie and out of play. What an effort defensively. The Knights kept creating opportunities and getting them sent away. They have another opportunity, though, with the corner kick. Initially, that play to play it towards space right at the top of the box. What a move. And then right there, the defense, in a blink of an eye, closing the door. And then the goalie wearing green and doing a mighty good Rex impression afterwards. I don't want to use my head. Well, just like Buzz said to Rex in Toy Story 2, you're going to use it. Off the head with the ball, but the save made. The score remains the same, 8-0 on the big board. Another through ball, left foot, wide of the net. I don't know if he was playing that over for a teammate to have it and finish it up, or if it just came off the foot a little wide. Tawa Hesuaka with a really nice move. He was the one, I believe, who played it off the heel in towards space at the edge of the box a minute ago. This time, coming up a quarter short. Another chance, though, here as the Knights looking for offense once again. Fans at home, I would not expect the Knights to slow down when it comes to goal scoring. They're going to want to keep the pressure on until the final whistle. Goal differential sometimes will come into play when it comes to seeding for the big tournament and also for the conference tournament. So when you have games like this, when you can really pile it on and create those extra goals for yourself and your team, it's a huge spot, or it could potentially be a huge spot when it comes to seeding. Knights had the ball on a string there for a moment. Hawks found a way to cut the string for a moment. Long pass. Too long as it rolls safely into the waiting hands of the goalkeeper. Knights doing it this time with the passing display. Turning the Jets on, far sideline, cross, and oh, off the heel. And you saw that one hanging up in the air for a moment, only to safely come down right where he wanted it to. Back of the net. Goal number 9 here today for the Knights, and it was a beauty. The highlight reel here today in terms of goals scored is going to be one for the ages. A real beautiful display of offense for this Knights team. Another display of what has put this Knights team not just out in front, but out in front by the most comfortable of margins. The Knights, pretty much from the word go, have been the first team to every 50-50 ball. And that is a recipe not just for a win, but a dominating win. And that's what the Knights are in the middle of right now. 10 minutes into the second half. And the shutout continues here for the Knights. Ball rolls all the way back to the defense. A great job by one of the midfielders for the Knights of using the body as a shield, causing a screen and not allowing the Hawks player to get to that loose ball. Little rainbow throw. This ball hung up there in the air for a while. Hawks looking for the clearing lane. Knights looking to get it right back and tripped up from behind. And that'll give a real good opportunity at some offense to the Knights. This is a set piece 20 yards into the offensive zone. Oh, why? Move it up a few. It's going to be 24 yards into their offensive zone. This is a great chance. It should be pretty. Good strike. Hawks are there first. Knights are there to finish, potentially. And no, it's the ref who's there to finish. Saw the Hawks get to that ball first after the set piece. Cleared it out of the box, but then a Knights player right there to one-time it. Only he one-timed it right into the wall. That was the Hawks defense. Knights in control, in possession once again. Stretching this Hawks defense out. The forwards coming deep into their offensive zone. Not to go on the attack offensively, but to challenge the ball carriers. As the Knights defense happy to just pass it amongst themselves. And hands on back, says the referee. 15 minutes into this second half. It's another set piece for the Knights. Similar spot. They elect to go short this time. And a good fight amongst both teams there for possession. Substitutions checking in on both sides. The scoring game has slowed down a little bit here for the Knights. But the possession certainly has not. They are still making all the decisions in this one. They set the pace early, and they've only ramped it up. Corner kick on the far sideline. Good strike in towards the middle. Goalie's there, and the rebound's there as well. They got everybody crashing in towards the goal. Those are some of the toughest plays for any defense to make. And the rebound opportunity, sweet and simple. And it's goal number 10 for the Knights. A 10-piece on opening day. And the dessert after this game, sweeter than apple pie, I'm sure. Particularly if they can pair this 10-piece with a 0 biscuit, as they are still pitching that shutout. 15 minutes into the second half, 30 minutes before excuse me, let me try that one more time. 30 minutes before the clock hits triple zeros for the final time. Fans, if you're just joining us now, it has been pure domination for this Knights men's team from the word go, as they are in the middle of making it a clean sweep for the soccer program on opening day. These two programs, women's teams, went head-to-head in game one. Final score in that one, 5-2 for the Knights. And this is the first time you've been able to catch this Knights team in action this season, but it will not be the last, and it won't even be the last this week. There's another game right here live at the Castle on Saturday at 1 o'clock. I hope you can join us live here at the Castle for that one. If you can't, well, then join us live on YouTube, your home for all of the Knights home games all season long. And if you want to know what and when those home games are, best place to find that out, CCBC Essex Athletics website. Not only is the schedule on there, but some great articles about the teams, players, and all the goings around in the athletic department. Offsides there. You know, when somebody's that wide open in the offensive zone, the whistle's usually coming shortly. And there it was. Oh, nice pass. Weaving its way through two sets of two defenders. Split the defense twice with that one. Couldn't do much with it afterwards as the Knights quickly take over on possession. And the slugging continues. Knights were building something there on that far sideline. Hawks put a stop to it for a moment. Piecing some passes in towards the middle. And now the big clear from the Hawks. One of the things I think the Hawks deserve a lot of credit for here in this game is the body language has stayed positive for them throughout this entire contest. Obviously, 2 goals in the first 4 minutes for the Knights had everyone thinking it was going to be the beginnings of a tough afternoon, and it has been all downhill for this Hawks team since then. But they have continued to fight and continued to stay strong defensively, at least with their effort. It certainly started to pay off a little bit here in this second half, holding this Knights team to only 2 goals scored so far in the first 20 minutes of the second half. The end result is certainly not going to be what the Hawks wanted it to be. And it's going to be a little uglier than that when you deep dive into the numbers as well. But the effort has been strong, and it's only game 1, so you can also just throw it away and start all over again with game number 2. I said it at one point in the first half. Sometimes you are the buzzsaw, and sometimes you're getting cut by the buzzsaw. At some point this season, the Knights will get cut by the buzzsaw, I'm sure. But, hey, tonight, they're enjoying slicing through this Hawks defense. They almost sliced their way through it once again for goal number 11. And the goalkeeper had other ideas, meeting the ball low and at the post for the save. And he may have to make another one as the Knights hunting once again. A couple of nice passes. Going to need at least one more. Here's the move. There's the shot. And the save. And we got a player now down on the ground for this Hawks team. And you saw that developing. And a cramp, it probably looks like, I'm sure, 24 minutes left in the second half. And we'll take a break with these two teams. Just over 20 minutes has been played here in this second half. The song remains the same. The Knights singing loud and proud. But their offense has slowed down just a little bit here. Only 2 goals scored in this 20 minutes of play so far. Time of possession has not changed much, though. They are still dominating pace of play. Just a few more plays like that. A couple of whistles have blown things dead. There's been a couple of nice saves. And also, more than a few times, the Knights have missed the mark just being wide of the net here in this second half. The dominating effort continues on opening day, though. team with high hopes and high expectations, living up to the hype here in day one. Played in towards the middle. Who's there to finish? No one, as it rolls all the way over onto the other side. A worm burner of a cross. Knights keeping it in their offensive zone. Turning the corner. And again, one of the things that has helped them hold on to this possession for as long as they have all game long has been passing towards space, playing towards the space. Some coaches will talk about taking what the defense gives you. Well, that's exactly what this Knights team has done from the word go. Really, not many times have they been caught trying to force the issue. And they'll see what's in front of them here on the corner. What do the Hawks give them this time? A chance for the volley. "21 minutes left in the contest, and that one, a little communication breakdown. Knights with possession, far sideline. Inching their way into their offensive zone. Now moving backwards to take a big step forward. And that is one of those few times maybe the Knights have tried to do a little bit too much. The one-on-one game got stopped there. And now the Hawks have found their way into their offensive zone. Under 20 minutes to play. The Hawks, I'm sure, would feel really good if they could get the lid off that cookie jar and at least go home with one tuck here tonight. It's going to be a long bus ride home regardless, but maybe able to catch a couple Z's on the ride home if they can watch one touch the back of the net. I'm sure for this coaching staff, the second half was about finding something to build on with the rest of the season in front of them. And I'm sure they've probably found more than a few things to build on with this season in front of them. It's been a much better effort from this Hawks team in the second half. Problem is, they ran into the superpower that was the Knights' offense in the first half. 8 goals in the first 45. It'll be tough for the Knights to recreate that one all season long. They certainly were a superpower on display in the first 45. Far sideline. Ball played all the way onto the other side and out of play on the cross. A little bit too much mustard on that one. Nice pass there, trailing away from the defender into a spot where only the Knights could get to it. And the passing display here from the Knights has been really good all game long. Not only passing to space, but also showing they can pass right to tape. To take a phrase from the world of hockey. Going line to line, tape to tape. The Knights have done a little bit of everything here. And the cramping continues for this Hawks team. Referee going to let the clock run on this one. 16 minutes is all that separates these two teams from the final whistle. And just like the halftime whistle, we got two teams looking forward to that whistle for two very different reasons. Knights on the restart. Oh, what a finish! A beautiful cross floating right onto the head. Tawa Hasegawa with a beauty as he timed his jump perfectly. And that ball bounced off the lettuce and into the back of the net. 11 unanswered goals here in this one. And what a cross. And my dad used to say growing up, the pass is prettier than the shot. Well, Pops, on that one, you certainly were right. $11 goals on 20 shots. And that's shots on goal, I should say. The Knights have certainly had more than just 20 shots. And offsides as that one comes to an end. The Knights have certainly had more than 20 shots. And they've certainly had more than 11 chances. And good chances, too. This game, once again, I should say, this game could be looking much worse if it wasn't for the strong effort from the goalie and the four guys in front of him. The Knights were kamikaze here today, a fireball. And they wrecked this game pretty much from the word go. Cleared out of the danger zone for a moment. Only white jerseys there, so they are getting it right back into their offensive zone. Oh, the one-on-one display. And the real estate ran out quickly. That door opened and then almost immediately closed. And there's number 12 on a solid pass in towards the middle. And a beautiful centering pass. Left a wide open net for the finish. 13 minutes left in this one. 12 unanswered goals as the Knights still pitching the shutout. And why not try for the Hail Mary pass at this point, as you saw a bunch of black jerseys streaking down into the offensive zone. They pushed it back only to push it quickly forward. Only problem was the Knights were the first ones to the ball, and now, just as quick, they're in their offensive zone. Oh, nice two-man game. And the centering pass just a little bit too far out in front. A great give and go building there just a second ago. And they'll look for it again with now 12 minutes left. On the far sideline, the cross is gobbled up by the goalkeeper. Knights passing it around. Working it from one defender to the next. Took them a while to really open up the scoring here in the second half, but getting close to matching their total from the first half now, as they had 8 in the first 45, and now they have got 4 in the second 45, with still 10 minutes left to play. And I'm sure there's some fans at home wondering why they keep piling it on with the scoring. As we see a whistle in front of us blowing the play dead and giving possession back to the Knights. Goal differential can potentially play a factor when it comes to seeding in conference and national tournament. So when you have these opportunities like this to put on a few extra, the teams don't tend to shy away. Not to mention, it's just great learning experience. Some of these players who maybe wouldn't get a chance to play in a game like this if it was closer. It's a real great learning opportunity for them to get in there. Also, confidence builder. How can it not be? It's a confidence builder for anyone to see the ball hit the back of the net. There's quite a few guys here, obviously, this evening who have seen the ball hit the back of the net. Hawks trying to find at least one. Getting their best look at it there a moment ago as that ball was deep into their offensive zone. Now getting a little deeper. The Knights right there once again, shutting the door. Not only is it a 0 on the big board in terms of goals scored for this Hawks team, it's also a 0 on the board in terms of shots on goal. Just pure domination offensively and defensively as when it rains, it pours. Unlucky number 13. And it's a Shackton a full moment. Eight minutes and 18 seconds left in the contest. The Knights have now put 13 unanswered goals on the board, and what a way to start this regular season. $13 goals and potentially their first shutout of the year. This Knights defense had 8 shutouts last year. And really put that a little perspective, they had 19 wins all year. 8 of them by way of the shutout. A little extra perspective, they had 10 conference wins all year. 5 of those 8 shutouts came in the conference. So exactly half of their wins in conference last year were by way of the shutout. Pure dominating effort from Coach Fiedler's squad during the 2023-2024 season. And maybe, potentially, another dominating regular season. They certainly took their first step here today, making it a clean sweep of the College of Southern Maryland Hawks. The women got the victory in Game 1. The men get the obliteration here in Game 2. Despite the final score here in this one, this College of Southern Maryland Hawks team could probably hold their head high knowing that they are probably going to see this Knights team again at some point this season when it matters a little bit more. If they handle their business, they could definitely be a team that the Knights have to get through in the conference tournament. Still a lot of work for them, of course, in front until we get there, just like for the Knights. Long season in front of both these teams. Five minutes left in the second half. Knights pushing it up the far sideline and pushing it a little too far. Up the near sideline this time, the Knights. Hawks wanted an out-of-bounds call that time. The Knights instead push it all the way up into the offensive zone. Off the goalie. Here's the clear. 4 minutes before the final whistle. Knights with possession once again. Long through ball. What a job to chase that one down. But the goalie climbed to the tippy top of the ladder to pull that one out of the air. Back towards the midfield. Hawks trying to keep it in their offensive zone. At least keep the pressure off of them. Ref plays for advantage. What a job to get around a couple of Hawks players. Knights split the defense and try and push it to the outside at the last moment. Hawks sending him away. Just over 2 minutes left to play now. Knights looking for one more. And, oh my, tipped it up to himself and finished the job. Some drama there, but the save keeps the score at 13-0. Knights let it play all the way back to the goalie, and why not? He has been bored here today. Not only a shutout, but 0 shots faced. A real smothering effort defensively for this Knights team. Off the backside of a Hawks player. Knights lost it for a moment. Pick it right back up. One more in the final 60 seconds. Not there. And another player down here for the Hawks. The cramping continues. And they have done a lot of running. It's just on one side of the field. And we've got a yellow card issued as well. And it comes in the final minute. Ref gives the ball back to the goalie. And we will see the final push here. The final 52 seconds. What does it have in store for these two teams? Will the Knights just play keep away here, or are they going to look for a buzzer beater? Make it emphatic. In towards the middle. Cleared out of the box. 25 seconds left. Hawks try and play it out of bounds. Knights keep it in play. Up the far sideline, a little bit too far out of play, and that is the final hoorah as the clock hits triple zeros. The final score in this one, well, it wasn't pretty. The Knights got out in front early and stayed out in front until the very end and pitched a shutout in the process. What a start to the season for this Knights soccer program A clean sweep of the College of Southern Maryland Hawks. Both teams off to a 1-0 start. If you weren't able to join us live here today, I hope you can join us live on Saturday at 1 o'clock. And if you can't join us live here at the Castle on Saturday, well, join us live on YouTube, your home for all the Knights' home games all season long. Aaron Thomas, one more time tonight, saying good afternoon, good evening, and good night.